So, SP manifestation success stories, and I'm getting some of my clients to share their successes, not their, some of them are not quite at the end of their journey, but they're still happy to come forward because I believe that some of the stuff that they're going through, or the epiphanies that they're having, or the incredible changes that they've seen, is truly, truly important for you guys to hear about, who are going through similar circumstances, who thought that this SP manifestation is impossible, who thought that it was never going to work, and maybe you moved on to other things or other people. This is what happened with my client. In fact, she was manifesting her specific person, and she gave up on it a couple of years down the line. She got into, well, she met someone else who blew her mind, who was more of her perfect person and match, and now she's looking to manifest that person. But of course, as what often happens, this seed was already planted, and so SP number one, her first original SP, who she thought it wasn't going to happen with and gave up after a while, came in. As soon as she let go, he was able to come in, and he's come in conformed, wanting to take her out, and she's getting movement with her current SP that she is interested in. But it's interesting how these things unfold, and so I want to show you that even when you think it's not working, it always is working in your favor. And this is the mindset that we need to get into with this, that everything is working in your favor. When you walk in acceptance and expectancy of your outcome, it makes it much easier to see this. And this also demonstrates even further, because I've shared from my own experience, but let's share from other experiences too. You would see this in my other client success stories too. That age-old question that I still get asked, can you date other people when you're manifesting your specific person, or does that ruin your manifestation? This is going to demonstrate, as I've demonstrated too, yes, you can absolutely date other people, because you're meant to live your life. You're not being delusional, and we're not sitting around waiting for 3D to conform. We are living it now, living our lives in the now, in expectancy of this outcome, in the knowing that this is taken care of, and just getting on with our lives. So she has kindly shared it to me in voice note, and I'm going to share with you, I'm going to play the voice note, and I'm going to get her to explain what she did, how she manifested that first specific person, what's happening with the second, just the situation that she's in at the moment. She's not at the end of her journey, because her SP number 2 is now the apple of her eye, is now her desire. But again, the process, everything is the same. And so here we go. I'm going to play this, and hopefully it will come out clear enough despite this storm. Okay.
Hi, Athena. Sure, I would love to share my SP journey with you to help inspire others, and how it all unfolded for me. So my SP journey started back in 2020 when I had SP1 in my life. At that time, he was showing very hot and cold behavior, wasn't really coming in. But I was at that time where I was just learning about the law, kind of knew about it. I wasn't completely sold on how it applies to people, to be honest. So I was like, you know what, it doesn't hurt to just like test it on this guy. So I was every day scripting because I love to write. So at that time, I just started scripting for him and about what he does and how we're always, spending time together, how he's always messaging me. And then I took it even a bit further and said, you know what, I want to have him send me flowers. So I scripted that he sent me roses, and that was in October of 2020 during the pandemic. And then I was scripting it every day, every morning, every night. Like, I literally thought I was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at one point because I would just every day, right? I was very persistent. And then December of 2020, I bought my car, brand new car, and I got roses in the mail from SP. And I was shocked, but not really, but more so shocked because I know that this was me that did it, because I was just scripting. I've been scripting for it for the past 2 months. So that's when I really became a firm believer that you can have people do things for you and act certain ways, like an SP, which I didn't really believe at the time. I believe that you could get stuff for yourself, but have other people. I just wasn't sold until that happened. And then I was sold. And you can have SP do whatever you want for you. And I was so happy, and I was crying, and it was just a big moment for me in my life with regards to the whole law of assumption and law of attraction. So basically, I just kept scripting after that. Like, I was wanting other things. I was wanting him to show up for me more. I was wanting him to be more consistent in my life, which he wasn't. And then I started to give up. And I literally I gave up. I said, I'm scripting. I'm not seeing any movement. So I said, F it. I don't want to wait around for this guy anymore. So I went out on a date with somebody else just to get my mind off of SP1. And then I met SP2. I couldn't believe, but I didn't expect to really fall for somebody else as much as I did, because I was so into SP1, but I was closed off to the world. I was so focused on him. And I believe that at that point, it was the blockage for me, because I was like so frustrated and so upset that he wasn't like coming in the way I wanted him to come in. So I dropped it all. I stopped scripting for him, and I went on a date, and I found SP2, and I was like, that's it. This is my perfect guy. He checks off all the boxes, like the type of guy that I want to be with, the background, everything. And then he started coming in, SP2. And then I started scripting for SP2. Everything was good. I went on 2 dates for him, but he disappeared on me. I didn't know why, but I knew the law, and I was like, no, I'm just going to keep scripting for him. Completely forgot about SP1. Completely. And then after that happened, that he disappeared, I kept scripting, and he came back. And I have a belief that they always come back. And then he comes back, and then he tells me that, he was with somebody else, but he wants to see me and rekindle things and all that. So I did, and then we started dating again. Everything was great. 6 months, we were dating and seeing each other, and I was so happy, and everything was great. I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, this is where I'm meant to be. And then I find out that there's an ex involved, and I'm like, well, what the heck? I must have did this to myself. And then here I am, 2 years later. I completely forgot, about SP1. I was so upset that SP2, this happened with him. I was heartbroken, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I did this to myself. Somehow my insecurities played a role, I'm sure. Was blocking it. My self-concept, I know, wasn't the best. It had to have been not the best, because my worry and doubt started creeping in with SP2. And I said, but I could get him back too. I can. So I started scripting. I started going to the end. I'm going to go to the end, because that's what I wasn't doing the first time. I was not going to the end of me being together in a healthy, fulfilling, long-lasting relationship with SP2. I was scripting for all the other things, like contact and dates and, all that jazz, but I wasn't going to the end. I found out that through you, Athena, that I just wasn't going to the end. So I started doing that, going to the end, and I'm still not seeing movement at all, and I'm giving up on SP1 too. I'm giving up on SP2, sorry. And then all of a sudden, SP1 comes back around from 2 years ago, which I completely forgot about. And I'm like, wow, it's been 2 years. Why are you starting to come in hot right now? How is it possible? Shocked, but not really. Is then I realized that, everything that I scripted 2 years ago, is starting to come in. And then I went on a date again with SP1. And it's been, it's been a little bit. It's been only a couple of weeks now, but it's just crazy how I'm starting to see the whole SP1 journey that I was scripting from years ago come through fruition, because I didn't think I would ever hear from him again, honestly, because it was complete dead silence while I was dating SP2. I didn't hear anything, and I was I completely forgot about him, and I was so into SP2, which I still am, but now it's SP1 starting to come back in, and I'm like, why? How? But I'm like, what do you mean? It's gotta be because I used to script from him 2 years ago. I wasn't getting the full movement, but I'm getting a movement now from SP1, which I wasn't before. For 2 years, it was dead silence. So it's just funny and just goes to prove that, you know what, dating other people is not going to mess up your manifestation, because that's what I thought too. But after I met SP1, SP2, and I went on one date with him, I didn't care about SP1 anymore. I didn't care that if it was going to mess up that manifestation. But in reality, it didn't, because here is SP1 again 2 years later while I was dating SP2. You know, so it doesn't mess it up. It's just funny that I used to think that. And I didn't care if it messed it up or not. I really did not care because I was so into SP2, which is my current SP still. And I'm still scripting for him because that's my perfect person, like you said. I just never thought a perfect person would exist, but now he's not even in my life like that anymore. But I have no doubt that I could still get him to come in while dealing with SP1. It's just crazy, but I hope that inspires others.
So I really hope that helps you all. And thank you, Han, if you're watching this, for sharing your story. I know that the reason I got you to share it is, of course, you've had success now with your first SP and what you did for it. So for her, she used scripting because she enjoys scripting. Remember, you're not doing these techniques to make SP conform, to make these things happen, to make them do things for you. You're using any technique to help you, to assist you in experiencing your desire now, because it feels fun to do so. You don't have to be scripting it every single day for a couple of months at a time. I know she did. I had another client as well who, before I coached with her, and I'm going to share a bit more about her situation because that was quite interesting. She, for 4 years before she met me, was scripting for her SP, 4 years. And she said she had piles and piles of paperwork about it. It's not necessary. But I know that some of us get caught up in the techniques for a while. And so you can see that after my client decided that, you know, yeah, I give up almost kind of thing, she had done enough to impress her mind with all of this, all of these different scenes, him buying her flowers, him treating her a certain way. And of course, the whole time that she was scripting to make change in the 3D, waiting, inadvertently checking, it wasn't happening. As soon as her attention and focus got taken away from that, she had scripted enough to impress her unconscious mind, to plant this seed. She was getting on with her life. And as she said, she didn't care. That's that level of detachment. Of course, it's hard when you're in a state of heartbreak. Of course, you really want that specific person. You're not going to get to a state of I don't care every single time. I didn't. There was still SPs that I was still attached to. I wanted this outcome and that. But there was a level of detachment in the sense that this was taken care of and I could just live my life. That meant dating other people. It helped me on my first SP journey as well. It was part of the bridge. And I believe it's part of the bridge for her as well, to have SP1 coming in, because now's the right time. Even though it's 2 years later, he has come in completely conformed. And now she's going to use the same method with SP2. And she'll get to that level with SP2 as well. And before, I had to point out to her as well that she wasn't occupying the end state. She's too hyper-focused on he contacts me and we go on a date. That's why I said to her, go to the end, because all of this middle stuff is implied anyway. And occupying your end state, which is being in a loving, committed relationship, is a different feeling to I received a text from my SP. It's a different state of mind. It's embodying a different sensation. So we went to the end with that. And also she's got a bit of a pattern with SPs too. So we're delving in deeper to change these patterns and beliefs. So that SP, when SP2 comes back, this same breakdown doesn't occur again. And she met her perfect person in SP2 as well. She's decided he is the one, which I'm actually going to talk about more in my following videos as well, as I've manifested a perfect person. And it's changed my perspective on specific person manifestation completely. But I'm going to go into that in more detail. And there's going to be some collabs coming up as well. So lots to share with you guys. Lots of exciting things. Some of you already know. But I really hope that this helps you out. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next video.